Mike Pompeo joining us now, former Secretary of State and CIA Director under President Trump. He's also a Fox News contributor. Mr. Secretary, thank you very much for your time. We see all of this happening. We see China's threat rising daily. How do we respond to it?
Senator Bill, thanks for having me on. I know the Taiwanese foreign minister who you played the clip from earlier. He's precisely right. There could be an accident there that could escalate pretty quickly. The task for the United States is to protect the things that matter to Americans. And make no mistake about it, the business and industry that sit on the island of Taiwan, which should be recognized as a sovereign nation, is essential to American commerce. We need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to provide Taiwan with the tools it needs. Contrast that with what the Biden administration has done in Ukraine, where they've allowed this war to linger on. We should demand that the Chinese Communist Party stop this silliness. It wasn't Kevin McCarthy's meeting that caused them to do this. This is just a meeting between two people. This was an excuse to continue to constrict Taiwan's ability to operate as an independent entity that it has operated at for the last decades. The United States should behave with reciprocity. We should demand that the Chinese Communist Party conform to international rules in the South China Sea and not claim it all for their own like it's one big Chinese lake. These are the simple things we can do. And when you do that, Sandra, in the end, this is about deterrence. You have to convince the Chinese Communist Party that there are real costs for their bad behavior. And if they don't believe that, if I hear a president who says, gosh, a minor incursion into Europe might be okay, or they see a president abandon Afghanistan where we get 13 Americans killed, those are provocative. Those are the kinds of things that Chinese leadership will see as appeasing, and it puts American lives at risk.
I hear you saying, and I quote you directly, we should do everything we can, Mr. Secretary. Senator Lindsey Graham suggested this as far as troops in Taiwan. Listen.
Strategic ambiguity is not working. China, after Afghanistan, believes that the store is open, that you can go in and take whatever you want on Biden's watch. I'd be very much open to using U.S. forces to defend Taiwan because it's in our national security interest to do so.
Are you on board with that as well? U.S. troops on the ground to defend Taiwan?
Senator, we often talk about Taiwan in isolation. Think about this. Japan will almost certainly get drawn into this if there's an invasion of Taiwan. We have a security guarantee to support Taiwan, much like Article 5 in the NATO agreement. What we need to do is focus today on giving the Taiwanese the tools they need to make sure that this day never happens. That's what we did for 4 years, and we reduced risks to America. But when push comes to shove, the United States is going to have to be all in to protect American interests throughout the Pacific. That includes Taiwan, Japan, our friends and allies in Australia, South Korea. This isn't the American tradition. Let's get deterrence right, and we won't have to face that question.
So to be clear, that's a yes.
Yeah, we should do everything we can, and we should be doing it today, Sandra. That's the other thing. It's not a decision to make a month from now or 6 months from now. This is work that should be taking place, even as we speak, to reduce the risk that the Chinese Communist Party sees any kind of a green light towards invading Taiwan.
You have spent a lot of time criticizing the Biden administration and their tactics when it comes to foreign policy, and specifically on our current response to China's growing aggression and aggressive rhetoric. There's obviously, this is what people see as an opening for you when it comes to 2024, Mr. Secretary. If you say you're going to announce, and you've said soon for quite some time, wouldn't this be the moment?
Senator, this isn't the moment. And I don't view foreign policy as an opening. I view it as central to the way that we all live here and how our kids and grandkids are going to live. Try to keep politics out of it when it comes to the things that matter to our security here in America. We'll have plenty of time to have that debate. Today is the moment to make sure that America gets this right, and the Biden administration has simply failed us all.
Got it. Mr. Secretary, really appreciate you joining us at the top of the hour today. Thank you for your time, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll await
Thank you, Sandra.
That announcement
So long,
or not. We'll see when that comes, because we know, Bill, this is the field right now.